Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Good Boxing Podcast with your host, Josh Size. And I'm going to jump right into this episode. I'm going to make it quick, sweet, and you're going to know more or less what's going to happen this weekend. This weekend, 8 division world champion Manny Pacquiao is taking on one of the toughest opponents out there, 147 pounds. Originally, you guys know he was supposed to fight Errol Spence Jr., but there was a tearing to the retina of Errol Spence, and they had to postpone the fight. But this isn't about Errol Spence and Manny Pacquiao. This is about Yordenis Ugas versus Manny Pacquiao this weekend for the WBA Super Champion. What a way for the WBA to kind of bail itself out after all of the trash talk saying they're trying to get rid of certain belts, et cetera, et cetera. You have the WBA Super Champion Yordenis Ugas, who was elevated after Manny Pacquiao was the champion in recess, taking on the WBA regular champion Manny Pacquiao. A lot of people feel Manny Pacquiao is the true WBA super champion as he beat the man, Keith Thurman, in a very shocking upset. Right? I thought Keith Thurman was going to win. A lot of people thought Keith Thurman was going to win, but Manny Pacquiao shocked the world. Now, that was a couple years ago. A lot of people felt Errol Spence versus Manny Pacquiao was going to be a matchup that favored Errol Spence. You look at the odds, Errol Spence was almost a 2-1 underdog in that fight. And it was a 2-1 favorite in that fight. And I think that reflects accurately based on what? Errol Spence is the younger champion, more active. He recently disposed of Danny Garcia and Sean Porter. He's the more active fighter. Manny Pacquiao hasn't fought since Keith Thurman. Now, when Yordenis Ugas was announced, I thought that stylistically it wouldn't be a good matchup for Yordenis Ugas, who seems to be a fighter that likes to plod, and go forward little by little. And I felt like Manny Pacquiao, being the angular, explosive, in and out fighter that throws combinations, could potentially bully Yordenis Ugas with speed and footwork. However, upon further review, I'm going to give you my breakdown. First things first, Manny Pacquiao is Manny Pacquiao. You know what you're going to get. He is angular, very, very herky-jerky, quick combinations, goes in and out, et cetera, et cetera. Manny Pacquiao has a great straight left, and that Manila ice off the jab, the right hook, is a problem for anyone. He likes to get over to the right side, and a lot of people don't know how to deal with that angular movement and how to fight lefties. When you're fighting Manny Pacquiao, especially if you're trying to box him, you need to be cognizant of how to fight a lefty. Moving strictly to the left isn't going to work on Manny Pacquiao. You have to be able to adjust, turn. When Pacquiao goes to get to that right side, you have to turn with him, and you have to negate Manny Pacquiao's angles with your own angles and a good solid jab. I've been wrong about a lot, and I'm not going to sit here and say that it's a sure thing. Remember, when you bet your money, I like to kind of talk about the possibility of someone winning and do the odds reflect the probability of them winning. And in this fight, Yordenis Ugas is a big underdog. And I started watching tape on Ugas. I went down this deep dive. I saw him fight Sean Porter. Sean Porter is not a lefty. Against Sean Porter, he did a lot of good things, but Sean Porter is a rugged, tough fighter who is angular, likes to be herky-jerky, is explosive and strong. Sean Porter had a hard time backing up Ugas and had a hard time using what works against so many other people, what worked against Keith Thurman, what worked against Danny Garcia. It didn't work against Ugas. Ugas was able to stand his ground and be defensively sound in many pockets. When Sean Porter went to go switch, get to the side, wrestle him around, Ugas was able to use his hips, turn his body, and remain angular to a point where Sean Porter had to box on his back foot and get in and out. However, I thought, hey, Sean Porter was able to do that against Ugas. Why can't Manny Pacquiao dance around, box on the back foot, go in and out, use angles, and surprise Ugas? Then I started looking at how he fights lefties. And I've never seen someone sustain such a vicious body attack against a lefty. I saw it against Ray Robinson, he's not Manny Pacquiao. Then I watched him fight other lefties. And Yordenis Ugas is going to win this fight. I don't know if he'll get a decision, but this is going to be the farewell fight for Manny Pacquiao if Yordenis Ugas wins. And my prognostication, and I don't 100% believe in anything, especially when it comes to Manny Pacquiao, but I'm having a hard time finding how Manny Pacquiao is going to beat Yordenis Ugas. If he moves to the right, Ugas knows how to neutralize the angles, and his strong jabs is going to keep Manny Pacquiao at bay. When Manny Pacquiao jumps in, no one has ever sustained a vicious body attack against Manny Pacquiao. And I think this is the first time that Ugas is going to surprise the world and show why he is the WBA super champion. I think Ugas is going to end up fighting Errol Spence Jr. for the WBA super championship after this fight's completed, because Ugas is going to beat Manny Pacquiao. I like the right hand to the body. I like the way he can turn and launch an overhand right the way Marquez did to Manny Pacquiao, where he is susceptible. Ugas is bigger and stronger and faster than Marquez. And in my opinion, with the 300 fights he's had in the amateurs, plus the addition of Salas Boxing, the Cuban trainer, Ugas has literally not lost a fight since joining that camp. And against Sean Porter, a lot of people felt he won, and I thought he won as well. But it was a close fight, so it could go either way. I think Manny Pacquiao, being the fact that he has been out the ring, he's not going to be able to just be out there and be blistering fast. He's going to hesitate, and I feel like his timing's going to be a little off. And against Ugas, I think Ugas with his solid jab, solid right hand, and the X factor where you know you're in there with Manny Pacquiao, you're going to bring your A game. I just think that body attack that Ugas has is very underrated, and I think it's going to give a lot of problems to Manny Pacquiao. So my prediction is I'm probably going to get killed for this, and truthfully, I don't care at this point. I think Ugas is going to win against Manny Pacquiao, and he could potentially stop Pacquiao. No one ever goes to the body against Pacquiao, and I understand why, but Ugas does it in a way where he's not going to get hit with uppercuts and right hooks. He actually can shoulder roll. He can have a high hands-up defense, but the body attack, I feel, is going to set up Pacquiao and his demise. Potentially, he's probably going to get dropped, and who knows? I think this is going to be a really good fight, but I think Ugas is going to win this fight based off a solid body attack and a tremendous understanding of how to fight a southpaw. No disrespect to Manny Pacquiao. I think if Pacquiao was more active, and if Pacquiao was a current fighter fighting multiple times, I think he would win this fight. But Ugas is so ready for this fight. It's up his wheelhouse, and he loves fighting southpaws. So it should be a tremendous, tremendous fight. Ugas by decision. I wouldn't be surprised if he hurts Pacquiao to the body several times, because Keith Thurman was catching Pacquiao with right hands, and I think Ugas is going to have that success as well. And he can box on the back foot, even though he chooses to like to put pressure. And I like the philosophy when you're fighting a southpaw, you have to put pressure on them, especially on that front hand. The angles aren't going to bother Ugas as much as people think. The speed, with a good jab and good timing and good wherewithal and where to be against the lefty, I think Ugas is going to pull this off, and I've said that already. So my prediction, Manny Pacquiao is going to lose this fight. And damn, even though I'm saying I'm probably going to get killed, I like Ugas to win. So that's my prediction. Feel free to hit a like if you like this video. If you dislike this video, who do you think is going to win? Put it down there below, and we could have a discussion. I've been watching video on Ugas, and I think Ugas is going to pull off the upset, and it's going to be a really good fight. At first, I thought Ugas was going to lose. I thought he was going to get blown out, but upon watching, I think he has the tools to pull off what Marquez did. Be well. Have a good day.